Welcome to this overview of stores. Okay, first things first, I'm going to go to user config, store setup, coupling and linking. Now, the other way to access this page is if I go down to the bottom right and click on menu, and I put in 8650, enter. It'll bring me to the same page. So what I'm going to do is couple my stores 1 and 2, 3 and 4, similar to what I might find on other mixers. Well, at Sony, it might be frame memory 1 and frame memory 2. So I go over here, store 1. I couple that with store 2. I just select that. You can see store 2 has now appeared in that column. And then I select store 3 and couple that with store 4. So you can see 1 and 2, 3 and 4, they're both coupled. Now, on this mixer, we're looking at a 20 store output. You can get 10 store outputs. Depending on the size of the mixer. Your standard large mixer would be 20. The other thing I might do is I might couple one, if I've got a large amount of clips, 1 with 11 and 12, sorry, 2 with 12. This will mean I'd be using the A and the B side of the mixer in relation to very, very large amounts of files. But for your normal average day sort of use, you can just use 1 and 2, 3 and 4 would be my suggestion. Another thing in relation to stores is you can go in and give them a name. If I click on name here, instead of calling them store 1, store 2, I could call it maybe bug or ticker or whatever I like along those. So, okay, in stores, the first thing is the load page, the most important thing. We're working in project 89. Think of your projects as your master file, and these are the stores that are available to me in project 89. If I click on contents, very similar menu. This is what's actually loaded into the stores. If I go back to project 89, now, this is what's in 89. I could go to another project and think of it as a master file. So here on 0, these are all the stills that are available on 0. I could actually load any of those in, but I'm just going to go back to project 89. So you'll see up here, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, you can see the key and the fill are source assigned to each other. 1 associated with 2, 3 with 4. Load store on press is usually on a lot of mixers, and load mode is new. So just be wary of that. So if I want to touch something here, I would load it straight in. So I'm going to load in 20 here. It's a C and a K, which means it's a clip with a key. If I go over to 16, this is just got a key associated with it. And if I look at 17, this is just a still of sorts. And then if you look up here, the little audio icon just means it's got sound with it. So first things first, we're going to say this is our home team. We're just going to load that in. So that's loading in now. We're going to make a subclip. You can see the details here of both the key and the fill and the standard it's in. But if I go over here and say insert at end, at the moment it's new. If I go insert at end, I can load in a second clip or a third clip into stores 1 and 2. So to say this is my home team badge, I'm going to go over here and load in 21, which is my away team badge. And then I'm going to go up here and say, well, this is number 13, which might be my both teams badges, which would be a standard sort of setup for football in that sense. So we'll go over to contents here, and you'll be able to see that in store 1 and 2, it's 1 of 3. And you can see down here, the 3 clips I've got set up. And what it means is I can call up any of these clips instantly. And I can use them in macros and bits and pieces like that. So it's a really good way of playing stuff. In the play mode, if you see here, it's got loop. I could play something on a loop. It was just a background. Ping pong, which means it goes forward and then it goes back and then it goes forward again. So if I click on the text here and go number 2, I can change that to the second subclip. Now it's loaded and ready to load. So we're going to record a simple macro. Hit macro record, and then I'm going to go, I want active subclip 1. So now recording in red, I'm going to go rewind and play a macro record again. So we're going to edit this. I go to 0. I go ripple action delay, ripple to end. I want everything to be 0. So what's it doing here? With macros here, you read across this line and down below. So it's store 1, and down here, it's the current clip is number 1, which is subclip 1. The second line, store 1, it's going to start. It's on. It's rewinding. And store 1, it's playing. It's going on. We can run it just to test it. And see where we get to. Effectively, I'm not gonna save that for the moment, but I'm just showing it. So in the play mode here, we can obviously play by rewind. We can play different time rates. We can check the position if we want. But what we're going to look at is the grab area here. So in the grab area, what you want to do if you want to grab a source is you want to make sure you have the correct source selected. So over here, the grab cross point on the right hand side, you want to select on that what source you're going to take. I'm going to go for a single frame. So and just remember, this grab mode is similar to what's on the load page. We go back to the load page, the new, the inserted end, all those. So just be wary. If I went new now and loaded something into store 1 and 2, I would get rid of everything else that's in there and just load in something new. So very, very careful around this menu, please. So I'm going to go also, if you're on air for argument's sake and you want to protect your subclip, you can lock the stores so that no one can delete them or change them while you're on air or even when you're setting up to be on air. So in the grab area, we're going to go for new. I'm going to go for a single frame. I just tap on single frame. It's saved that. Now, it's in workspace only. I have to go into save. So like a computer, you got a file, you've actually got to go and save it. I'm going to save it in 31 in project 89. You know, and you could give it a name. I'm not actually going to save it right now. I'll just move on. The other option you've got for something with animation or that's moving, you can go for a latching grab. Now, latching grab, you can see it counting up here with the time, and I delatch it, so it's recorded that. I can rewind it to play it. I would always preview something like this, and then I can go from there. So yeah, latching grab is the way to check it. Also, again, I can go in and I'll save it into a different number 29 in project 89. Now, one thing in the grab menu I want to point out to you is I could obviously put it as a subclip inserted in, but one thing is your key and your fill source. If you want to grab something with a key and a fill, you need to go in to cross points and make sure you have it set correctly. So you see here in input 10, I've gone down and I've actually selected earlier. I've said input 10, my coupled key or my associated key is input 11, my graphics key. And that's what I do selecting cross points. Go back to store, go back to grab. And if I go down over here, my cross points, and I'll scoot down to graphics fill, you'll see graphics fill. So 10 and the key source is 11. So that means if I grab something now, it will have a key and a fill associated with it. So I grab a single frame. Okay, unfortunately, there's nothing there. I could do a latching grab or I could grab with audio. So yeah, be wary of that. You have to make sure you're set up in the cross point menu. Now in the load page, remember, one of the important things is this new and load store on press. If I have load store on press, people just tap what they want and it loads something straight in. If I deselect it, I have to select something and hit load here to load something in, which slows you down, but maybe gives you more time to think. So I'd suggest maybe operating that way. New will blow things away if you don't have the store locked at the time. The other thing to look at is the contents page. And click on the contents page, you see what is in your store. Thanks for watching.